Hey girl, what you doing? Listening to the Be Everything and More podcast, baby. Let's fucking go. Welcome to this week's episode of Be Everything and More. I cannot believe we are on episode 5, y'all. WTF. This week's episode was actually inspired by a client of mine who has, of course, become a friend because in my world, that's what we do. And I wanted to read an email she sent me. And it's important for me to read it so that we have context as this whole episode builds, because literally this is exactly where this episode came from. So she wrote to me and said, "Hi, Kaitlin. So exciting. I don't know how you managed to pull all this off. Launched your first live event, went on an international trip with your community, rebranded, launched a new podcast, and now releasing a book. Girl, you constantly inspire me and keep me raising my own bar. I hope you pause to see yourself and the things you've accomplished not only this year, but in the past 90 days. I don't read you that email to be like, wow, Kaitlin, congratulations. That's amazing for you. I read you that email because of the last thing she said. I hope you take time to reflect on how far you've come in 90 days. Honestly, until she wrote me that email, I hadn't. It has been full guns blazing over here at the Beam Life. I mean, literally everything she said, from my first live event to this international retreat to rebranding the podcast, doing a full rebrand of the Beam Life in general. And then she was responding to, in my Ascend group coaching program and my one-on-one clients, we are doing a compilation book that is actually coming out in September. Super stoked. We're going to have a whole thing on that. I'm not going to get lost. But she was responding to how amazing she thought the book was going to be because they all got to see it for the first time this week. And I was like, holy shit, we've been busy over here. And I think as ambitious women and driven women, which if you're listening to this episode and you like these podcasts, I'm going to guess you are, because that's who I'm really talking to. I get you. I see you. I am you. We are all one and the same. We're juggling 800 million different things. And we have in common that we've got this dream, this goal, and we just want to get there. It's important for us. And so when she asked me that, I thought to myself, like, damn, I haven't even thought about it, to be honest. We're always looking at what's next, what's ahead, and we don't stop to think about where we've come from. And that's important for a number of different reasons. But the first reason on why it's important to stop and reflect on where we've come from is it makes you realize how important all the cumulative steps it has taken to get you where you are. And maybe those steps felt insignificant, right? They felt like it was just one email that you sent, or it was one event that you attended, or it was one coffee chat that you had with a connection that was the beginning of this avalanche that started to build. It's really important to think, gosh, I remember not that long ago I was here and now I'm here. Imagine if I keep putting in these consistent little steps, where I'll be in another 3 months and another 6 months and another year. And the second reason why it's so important is, at least for me, was when I took the time to reflect, I, for the first time, felt really proud of myself. If you know me even just a little, you might be surprised to hear me say that, because I am what I call the number one hype woman. I'm always like, yes, fuck yes, you can do it. Believe in yourself. And I also know that's a lot easier said than done. And it's certainly easier for me to champion other women sometimes than myself. And this comes from a very young childhood core deep wound for me. And I'm going to just put it out there and share it and I might get choked up while I share it because it still touches a really tender part of me that is that little girl that remembers just wanting praise. Growing up, at least for me, I really craved my parents to be proud of me. It was important to me. And I was constantly outsourcing that validation. I wanted my friends to be proud of me. I wanted my parents to be proud of me. And I wanted my, what it was like my environment, my society. I wanted people to be proud of me. And I felt like my siblings, who are like two of my favorite people in the whole world. I'm the oldest. Shocker. Where are my oldest siblings at? Um, I was just built very different than them. And as a young kid, you don't understand that, right? They're just so freaking smart and have professions that you can understand. My sister is a psychiatric nurse practitioner. My brother is a veterinarian. Like, when I tell you that, you know what they do. And then for me, I've had multiple different career paths. I started off in fashion as a stylist. Like, nobody knew what a stylist was when I was a stylist. People thought, hairstylist? Is that what you are? Um, and then I moved into owning a gym, which like nobody in my family knows anything about. That was foreign territory. And then I go into complete entrepreneurship into like the world of life coaching, which, like, if you know anything or have heard about life coaching and you were unsure, it felt like, wow, that's really woo woo. Can you actually like make money and make a living from doing that? So I say all this because I've kind of always felt like the black sheep. And while being the black sheep is fun, it can also feel really scary sometimes. It wasn't until she asked me that question that I thought, wow, fuck, I'm so proud of myself. I'm really, really proud of how far I've come and the clients that I've been able to support and the community that I've built and everywhere we're going. And if I do nothing else, which we all know is not going to happen, I can actually say that I'm really proud. I hope that this episode inspires you to take a second to reflect on your own journey and feel proud of yourself, even if you're not where you want to be. Because, I mean, when are we ever as entrepreneurs, right? Like, we're always on that next train. We're always moving. But I want you to stop and reflect. And I use 3 questions to do this. And I want to share with you those 3 questions because I don't know about you, but having a little bit of like prompt and guidance is helpful when we're doing this self-discovery work because I have ADHD. And if I sit down to a blank page, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, what was I supposed to think about again? So I'm going to share with you the 3 questions I used to kind of reveal to myself that maybe I've always struggled with that outside validation. And for the first time, I feel so overwhelmed and consumed by what it feels like to be proud of yourself. So I'm hoping that you'll have a similar feeling because you're fucking awesome and you deserve to be proud of yourself. And it's not about success in terms of achievements or metrics. It's just about simply showing up and saying you want this thing and then doing it. The first question is, when was the last time I truly gave myself credit? And it's not because someone else noticed what you did, but it's because you did it. And maybe it was something you did in silence. Like, maybe for me, like, for example, I get up and I go and work out pretty much every single morning. I rarely post about it. I rarely talk about it, but it's those things that, like, for me, I'm proud of. It makes me feel good about a decision I said the night before, I'm going to work out tomorrow, and then I followed through on that. So again, when was the last time I truly gave myself credit? The second question, if I could zoom out and see the last 6 months like a movie montage, what would surprise me about how far I've come? What moments would make me say, "Damn, I really did that?" A lot can happen. If you listen to my last episode, I sort of shared about the last year I've had with going through my daughter and this whole diagnosis of PDA and growing my business and all of these things. And I often think to myself, like, I haven't done anything special. There's been nothing I need to like pat myself on the back for. And then I zoom out or I share a story like this on a podcast and you're like, whoa, wow, where did that all come from? Right. So think about if you zoomed out and then they replayed it in front of you, kind of like, a character in a movie, what moments would stand out to you and surprise you about where you started, where you were 6 months ago, and then maybe where you are now. And again, it's not about like these grand, big things. It's often never the one thing that makes your business or breaks your business for that matter. It's never one thing. It's a series. Third question, what version of me from the past would look at where I am now and feel deeply seen, validated, or proud? That's the one that really got me. And that's where I really, f- remembered that 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old version that's always craved someone to say, I'm proud of you. Because I didn't have like the academic grades. I wasn't on the sports teams. I didn't have those like typical things that your parents are proud of you for. In fact, I kind of went the other way and I was super rebellious. And now we all know that that's often like craving attention and then in another kind of way. And I don't regret any single thing I've ever done or the path I've gone because it's led me to here. But I want you to go, when I say past version, go back to a little version of you because she needs you right now. She really does. Because like I said, you're fucking awesome and you deserve to be proud of yourself. And it's these little things that help not only exponentially grow your life, but will grow your business. Is when you tap into that power source that lives within you, the thing that nobody can take away. And what I will say is like building this deep internal sense of self, this I know how to get myself from here to there. I trust myself. When you have that, there is no troll on the internet that can take you down. There is no ex-spouse that can say crap about you that can tear you down. There's no old friend that can dredge up things from the woodwork that are going to make you feel like shit about yourself because you know your truth. You know who you are and you feel intrinsically proud because you are the one, that baby version of you, that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old girl, she needs this message. And so please take a second, do those 3 questions. I will also put them down in the show notes for you to be able to plug into, but I recommend doing that work. And then please share with me via DM that you did this and what little light bulb moments came up for you. When you do this, um, set aside the time. Again, I talked about in my last episode, setting boundaries. Set this time aside to do this. And it doesn't need to be this long, massive thing, 20, 30 minutes. Get some good kind of inspiring music. I love to play movie soundtracks like Hans Zimmer. I love to play that when I'm writing and it just like stirs up massive emotions, especially when you're thinking about like that movie montage, right? It's like I just imagine like this whole life like playing before me and it feels inspirational and it gets deep down into the core, into the soul. So set the time aside. Dig into these questions. I promise you something will be revealed that will be profound. And if you feel called, please share it with me. I love more than anything when you share insights, breakthroughs from these podcasts, because I don't do these for me. I do them for us. We need each other. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me. I love you. I love me. And I'll see you back here next Wednesday. And if you liked this episode, I really want to encourage you to please like it, share it, subscribe. It is one of the most massive impacts that you can help a little show like this have. And I just appreciate you tuning in every week and being here. Bye, babe.